Shalom, everybody. Let's do the blessing for tonight. Baruch atah Yahuwah Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sefirat haomer hayom yom 43. Blessed are you, Yahuwah Elohah, King of the universe, who's commanded us to count the Omer on this day, day 43.
Amen. Praise Abba Yahuwah. As we continue with our very sad story as we've been reading from chapter 42 to chapter 44 of the book of Yirmiyahu, and as we saw yesterday, such a sad chapter where the Father has really spoken and brought great warning upon these people that want to stay in Mitzrayim, in Egypt. And today we continue in chapter 45. And so because chapter 45 is such a short chapter, it's just 5 verses. What I'm going to do is when I finish chapter 45, I am going to read a prophetic word that the Father gave me on the 31st of December, 2021, which was the prophetic word that was really birthed out of these 4 chapters from chapter 42 to chapter 44, which is what the Father had spoken to me, because these were the chapters that the Father had me read as I was praying, as the whole world was going into this new Gregorian calendar 2022, and I was really praying and seeking the Father, and Father gave me chapter 42 to chapter 44, including chapter 45, that I read, and this is the prophetic word that I will be reading afterwards, which I actually never really released publicly, but today I believe at the appointed time this word is to come forth, and this is the prophetic word that really was birthed out of these chapters that he has given. So let us read chapter 45. And the word of Yirmiyahu, the prophet, spoke to Baruch, son of Neriah, when he had written these words in a book from the mouth of Yirmiyahu, in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, son of Yehoshiahu, sovereign of Yehudah, saying, Thus said Yahuwah, the Elohah of Israel, concerning you, Baruch. So this is really a word for Baruch. You have said, Woe to me, for Yahuwah has added grief to my pain. I have been wearied with my sighing, and I have found no rest. You can imagine Baruch was the only one that was willing to really stand with Yirmiyahu. And many times Yirmiyahu would be in jail, he'd be apprehended, and then Baruch would take the letters and he would continue to read Yirmiyahu's letters to the people, to continue to speak forth that which the Father was giving him to speak. And now this is the word that is going to be given to Baruch. Say this to him, Thus said Yahuwah, See, what I have built, I am breaking down, and what I have planted, I am plucking up. That is the entire land. And do you seek great matters for yourself? Do not seek them. For look, I am bringing evil on all flesh, declares Yahuwah. But I shall give you life. I shall give your life to you as a prize in all places wherever you go. Now, is that not a word for where we are exactly today? Because remember, as we've been reading through the book of Jeremiah, what is it that has come out of the book of Jeremiah? What has really come out of Yirmiyahu is that we are understanding that exactly as Jeremiah was a prophet raised up in that hour to speak for what was going on, and speaking up against a people that truly believed that they served the Father, truly believed that they were children set apart by the Father, but yet in their hearts and in their actions they were rebellious. And so this is why the Father is saying, See, what I have built, I am breaking down. So you must understand, there's many things that has been built in the name of the Father, but he's going to break it down. And what I have planted, I am plucking up. So he's going to pluck up, and he's going, like he said to Jeremiah, you are to uproot and you are to replant. And so he says, I am breaking down, and what I have planted, I'm plucking up. That is the entire land. So understand, the Father is the one who told them that this was their land. The Father is the one who planted them in that land. They were planted in that land, but because of their disobedience and because of their rebellion, what is the Father doing? I'm plucking you out. I'm sending you into exile, into Babylon, because of your rebellion, because you have not followed me, because you have not kept my ways and my commands. I am plucking you out of this land. And he sent them into exile, into Babylon. And he says, I'm breaking down. So even the temple that was built for him, what happened to that temple? He broke it down. He allowed that entire place to be broken down. He allowed the land of, he allowed Jerusalem to be ransacked by the king of Babel. Why? Because of the people's disobedience. But what does he say? So do you seek great matters for yourself? So you see, what are we seeking for ourselves in this time that we are living in right now? What are we seeking? Are we still seeking to build our kingdoms? Are we still seeking to build our huge kingdoms for ourselves? Is that really what our mission and our vision is for the time that we are in, with the destruction that's laying ahead of us? Do not seek them. So what is the Father saying? Do not seek these matters for yourself. Do not seek for these great things that you're wanting to do for yourselves on this earth right now, and where you find yourselves right now. Because why? We are about to go into an exile. We are about to be uprooted from where we are right now, in our cities and in everything where we are right now, because the destruction is coming. It's on our doorstep. The destruction is on our doorstep. The enemy is at the door. And what are we building? What kingdom are we building? Are we still trying to establish our own kingdoms and trying to make a name for ourselves and trying to get the fame and get the fortune and get everything else that goes with it? That is not what we should be focusing on right now, is what the Father is saying, just like it was in the time of Jeremiah. Do not seek for them. Do not seek for them, for look, I am bringing evil on all flesh. And this is what the Father is saying. He is going to bring evil upon all flesh. We must understand we are the generation that is now being prepared for the coming of Yahushua. So if we being prepared for the coming of Yahushua, we need to understand that great darkness is on our doorstep, and therefore we are the people that need to prepare ourselves to make ready for the coming of the King. And that is going to be the fact that we might be uprooted from where we are to be replanted somewhere else, and whatever it is that we live for is not for ourselves, for the comfort of our lives, but to be able to live for the King and for what he wants and for his kingdom and for his glory right now. And so he says, declares Yahuwah, but I shall give your life to you as a prize. So understand, if we're going to be obedient to the Father, if we're going to be obedient to the Father's ways, if we're going to be obedient to what the Father says, which is exactly what Baruch was doing, because Baruch was one of the few that was willing to stand by Jeremiah, believe Jeremiah, stand with him, speak the word of truth out of his mouth. He says, I give your life as a prize in all the places, wherever you go. So even if the Father has to uproot you and replant you somewhere else and bring you into that place of a Goshen, like we have been discussing Joseph, you know, as we've been reading Joseph, and as the Father was able to take the whole of Israel out of Canaan again, they were in the land of Canaan where they were planted. This is the place where the Father planted them, but because of the famine that came upon them, Father had to uproot them and bring them into Egypt, into a Goshen, into a place of safety. And so what is the Father saying to us now in this hour, exactly like he's speaking to Baruch, is what he's speaking to us. And what is he saying? If it means that I need to pluck you up from where you are, to plant you somewhere else, because I'm going to break down. Do not be building your kingdoms and your big kingdoms for yourselves, because it's going to all be broken down. It's all going to come crashing down, because he's going to shake the heavens and the earth in the time that we are going in. And this is the prophetic word that we are going to read. And there's a prophetic word that the Father gave me, like I said, on the 31st of December. And this word is the word that the Father has given, and this word is very clear in what the Father is saying, in what he is revealing to us. And this was really as Father had given me this word, as I was in a time of prayer and just seeking Abba, he gave me Jeremiah chapter 42, chapter 43, chapter 44, up to 45. And these were the scriptures that we have been reading the last few days. And you know that these scriptures are extreme warnings to us. And we had this warning at Passover when the Father gave us Isaiah chapter 30 to say, do not go back to Egypt. Do not find comfort in Egypt. Do not go back to the ways of Egypt. Do not go find your way going back into Egypt. And so this is why this word has come. And so this is the word from Yahuwah that was given on the 31st of December. My child, as the world comes to the end of this Gregorian calendar new year, what have they learned from the last 2 years? Have they changed their ways? Do they see the end is at hand? Or are they still carrying on believing that their world is going to go back to normal? My child, the good old days are over. And now it's crunch time. Now it's time to be buckled up with me, because the road ahead is going to become very bumpy. And only those who have surrendered to me are going to shine for my glory. Many are now going to fall. Many are now going to fall away. Many are now going to further bow to the systems of this world that will promise them everything, but will give them nothing but destruction. My people have made the decision to go back to Egypt for comfort. My people have not listened to the warnings of my prophets and my many servants and the watchmen that I have sent out to warn my people of the dangers of the days ahead, and to not bow to the system of Babylon, but just like in the times past, they will not listen. They do not believe. They trust in the systems of this world more than they trust in me. Whatever you have bowed to will consume you in the days ahead. I have spoken and I have warned, and everything is for an appointed time, and now time is up. The hourglass has run out, and now you will start to see my judgments upon a wicked generation that will not repent. They continue to demand and command from me what I must do, but they will not change their ways, and they will not turn back to my word or to my ways. I will have a remnant in this time. I will have a people that will run the race to the finish line, no matter the obstacles, no matter how tired they get, because their eye is on the finish line. Their eye is on the prize of my soon return. They will lay down all. They will follow me no matter the cost. But for those that took the easy way, the broad way, they will soon realize that this was a big mistake, as they will cry out to me, but there is nothing I can do for the decisions that they have made. I have said, if you sow to your flesh, you will reap what you have sown. The people that have turned to this world system for help will start to fall further and further from me, as they will be controlled by a new master, the one they gave their power to. I have warned and I have spoken, yet people will not listen, nor do they believe what I have spoken by my faithful but my faithful remnant will now start to shine my light more bright, and they will bring many who are on the fence to me. Many will now come back, as they have seen and heard and have not bowed. Amen. Amen, beloveds of the King. Shavua Tov to you all. May you enjoy the rest of your evening. Shalom, shalom.